Hey folks, welcome to our next exit. We're on a route taking us from Miami, where we spent the winter down in Florida, and then we're headed up to the Pacific Northwest, up to our kids and grandkids up around the Portland area. And our last video got us from Miami up to Texas at Lake Conroe, and this one is going to take us from Lake Conroe all the way up to Moab, Utah. When we were at Lake Conroe, the whole path we've had bad weather, thunderstorms and tornadoes and stuff, and we got caught in some bad weather at Lake Conroe, so we left a day early and headed up to Lake Whitney to miss a storm so we could drive on a pretty clear day, and that worked good. Except we got to Lake Whitney, and on the first night we're sitting there watching TV, and they were saying the next day they had thunderstorms. They're going to potentially have hailstones the size of baseballs, and some warning you to protect your cars and your windows and your home and all kind of stuff. So we decided to heck with that, and we headed on out to Snyder to visit. We were going to go visit my sister, Tanya. So we left a day early at Lake Whitney trying to miss storms. And in Snyder, spent the first night at Walmart. My brother-in-law there, Britt, he used to be a statistics professor. Now he's an administrator with West Texas College. And they have a coliseum with maybe 100 RV spots, parking spots with full hookups. And he always gets us a site there.
I like that.
I mean, we all look for a brother-in-law like this guy.
That's really not what he meant.
Last time I was here, we made some clay pots. We both still got the ones we made. They're really pretty and they come in handy. And the time before, he taught me about fly fishing, making flies, artificial flies. And this time, his father passed away and left him a whole bunch of stones that you can cut and polish down to make really, really pretty jewelry and stuff. And unfortunately, I spent the whole 3 days cutting and polishing stones for 3 of my granddaughters that I didn't hardly get to visit with my sister Tanya at all. I didn't get any video of the house. And Britt and I spent out in one. He's got a couple of workshops out there, and one of them is this stone cutting tools. And there's 4 wheels. You cut them, and then there's 2 grinders that you grind down, hunting for the color and stuff. And these are called fire agates. And then we did one that's tiger's eye. And you keep grinding down till you find this color. You never know what you're going to find or where it's going to be. And then he's got 2 more stones where you can polish it out. And then he's got a buffer to really make it shine. So it was a ton of fun. I learned a lot, and I got 3 really pretty stones that we're going to have made into some rings for couple of my granddaughters that are in their early 20s. One of them's fixing to get married, and the other 2, you never know what their future is. But just a little keepsake that made me feel good.
And then I'll start it in the wax just so I'm not much further ahead when it's cast in sterling. And the seat as well.
And then from Snyder we went up to Plainview.
Every time you need me, I'm telling you I'm here to stay. But looking at your castle, I'm pretty sure you're safe.
This is where my dad and my stepmom, they bought this house back in the early 70s, and this is where we all went for our Thanksgivings and Christmases. And I never lived in this house. I was already married and had a couple of kids when they bought this home. But it sure was the perfect place for Thanksgivings and get-togethers with everybody. So a lot of fun memories. My dad's gone. My mom's almost 85. She's still doing great and lives here with one of my brothers. After we caught a lot of rain up in there, that storm that was headed to Lake Whitney, we found it in Plainview, but at least there was no hail or nothing. We took off from Plainview the next morning. We stayed in Plainview a couple of days. We took off Had rain all night long. It was rainy when we left Plainview, but we got in clear weather up at Amarillo, and it was nice all the way almost to Albuquerque, and then we hit another big thunderstorm. And the campground we stayed there at Albuquerque was up on the side of a mountain with dirt roads, and I was really had flashbacks of getting stuck and towed out, calling a tow truck and stuff again. But that worked out okay. It was fine, and it cleared up the next day. Here with the drone, you can see just on the other side of the highway, just a couple of miles from our campground, maybe back in 2010, Pearl and I was making a trip to Texas, probably from Nevada, and our air compressor quit working. We had a different Class A. It was a converted Greyhound bus that my folks had redone back at that house I showed you in Plainview, and they used it for 10 years or so, and then we bought it from them and we used it for 8 or 9 years. A great coach, no slides though, 40 foot long. Anyway, we pulled over right here beside the road, and on IRV2, a group that we communicated with about bus conversion, somebody knew a mechanic there in Albuquerque, and they got a hold of him, and he met us here at this side road right off of I-40, and we worked about 4 hours on the coach and got the compressor working to get us on into Plainview, where we got it permanently fixed. From Albuquerque, we headed to we were headed up to Colorado and then up to Utah, and we thought we were going to really make some time, but when we finally got to Albuquerque, it was about 10 miles away from the campground. We had about an hour. We were just dead stopped on the freeway almost. One of the good things about traveling in a Class A motorhome is you got room we could almost set up a camp, put our slides at it. It was so slow.
We're out of here.
We're headed to Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeehaw. Albuquerque's right in front of us, about 5 or 10 miles. And then we turn north, head to Colorado.
Hi there.
You go, girl!
But we got through, we got headed on up, and we ended up staying at another Walmart in Cortez, Colorado. And here at Cortez, they had signs up that it's okay to park. We generally always call for standing at a Walmart. We look it up on Allstate's app to see what they say, and if there's no signage, we'll call and check. But here they have signs up saying you can stay one night, no problem. And there was a ton of people that stayed. And we got an email the next morning. Somebody that was staying there sent us an email, said that they was here at Cortez and saw our coach. And we weren't outside, so they didn't stop and say hey or nothing, but they sent us an email just to let us know that they had saw us. So that's pretty neat. Way out in the middle of Colorado in a little bitty town, and one of our viewers, I think it's Mike and Michelle, recognized the coach. Pretty cool. So from Cortez, we headed on up to Utah. We got some beautiful countryside going through Utah to the Arches National Park. Looks like you're gonna make it, baby.
I'm thinking we're gonna.
Where we stayed at Ballard RV Park, even north of there, we took a little hike, and they had some petroglyphs up on the wall and a lot of neat mountain formations and whatnot that we enjoyed, but nothing compared to that Arches National Park. It was just beautiful. We didn't get to do much hiking up there because you can't take the dog on any of the trails, so.
Makes you wonder how they got up there to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Write their name on it.
Whipple? Yeah.
So Ballard RV Parks is about 25 miles north of Arches National Park, and we had reservation for 4 nights, but the first night we just had to do dry camping because they were totally full. There was some kind of four-wheeler rally that there was these all-terrain vehicles and razors and whatever you call them all over the area. They were having all kind of rallies. After that first day, we got to go into a site. The sites were 120 foot long, and really wasn't a bad spot at all. You can see from the drone video, it's just a couple of RV parks here in a tiny abandoned kind of community, but it was close to a lot of hiking and trails and pretty good area.
I would say we were good together. I would say we had fun. But our trails will never run forever. Yeah. Something else is on your mind, like everything that's good in life always comes to an end. We're letting go, drifting apart. There's no use trying to pretend. And
I hope you're not getting tired of arches. When we leave here, you might never get to see one again, so enjoy them all.
So we purchased a app called Gypsy Guide, and as we're driving through the park, it tells you, it knows your GPS location, so it tells you all the features and all the mountains and arches to be on the lookout for and where to pull in to take pictures or to see some sights or little short trails. A couple of them that I would walk up and come back, and then Pearl would walk up. So that Gypsy Guide, I'd recommend it if you're going to drive through the arches, and they have one for Canyonland also. So that just about catches you up to where we're at now in Utah. Our next video, we're going to be going from Moab up to Lake Tahoe, and we may go ahead and get on up into Oregon. I'm not sure just how long a video that'll be. But I want to point out our YouTube channel is pretty much about retirement and the full-time RV lifestyle. And if you've got more questions, or I mean, this video was more just traveling, vacation pictures from us going across the country, but we don't usually put a lot of that on our channel. We try to put stuff in about that's pertinent to folks that are trying to figure out this retirement, Social Security, Medicare, just what to do now that you're ready for this next chapter in your life. If you go to our website and kind of scroll down, once you click on a video, you can watch the video, but if you click here and show more, it'll list the different equipment we use for RVing and for videoing, and if there's any items that you're curious about, what do you need, let us know, and we'll list on here the equipment we use to take care of your concerns. Click on this Amazon link here. It'll take you to our Amazon affiliate page, and anything you purchase on Amazon, it doesn't cost you any more, but they send us a little commission, 2 to 8% I think it is, and that helps us, you know, buy camera equipment and whatnot. It lets us know that people are out there watching. But the more important stuff is on our actual home page. Next exit, if you scroll down, here's the first row is our newest videos in the order they were posted, but then under that, every month since we started, we put out an expense report of our expenses for that month. In the first year or so, it was running under $40,000. It's kind of been creeping up, and then we had that big expense with our maintenance and shot it up close to $50,000. But that tells you every one of our expenses for every month we've been full-time RVing. The next row down is interviews we've done with 7 or 8 folks. Pat and Christine, we stay in contact with them pretty regular. They're in Florida. They're just heading back home to do some babysitting with their granddaughter. Jeff and Lori, they spent the winter. He's still working. They spent the winter in Tucson, and they're back in New York now working. Chuck and Cheryl, we just got an email from them about 2 days ago. They've got their house on the market. They've got their RV ready to go. Maggie, I think they call it. And as soon as the house sells, they're going to be on the road full time. Todd and Nancy, we visited with them. They were up north. They moved down to Florida. They've quit their full-time jobs. They're picking up some part-time jobs to pay off bills and whatnot. They're living in their RV, and probably this spring or next fall they're going to be hitting the road. But they're doing the RV lifestyle now and just catching up on bills on their finances. Tom and Christina, they were working when we interviewed them, but they've now retired. And I think Tom may be working on the road, but they've got their fifth wheel. And as of about a month ago, they're doing the RV lifestyle. We haven't heard from them in a while. I'd like to hear how they're doing. Moving to Mark, George and Melissa. George sent me an email a couple of weeks ago. They're headed to Texas, but we were headed out of Texas. We just missed each other, but they've been covering the country. They have covered a lot of ground since we saw them up, and I think it's Hershey, Pennsylvania, about a year ago. And then the first folks that we interviewed, Charles and Candy, they are just a great couple. They have 18 kids between them. One of their daughters is having some serious medical problems, and they're doing some alternative medicine with diet and lifestyle changes. So we all need to reach out and wish them the best of luck. Would sure like to see Charles and Candy again. And then not on here is Terry and Cindy Goss. He was the manager of the Victorian Palms Encore Resort down in Rio Grande Valley. They're retired now. They've been retired for a month, and they're up in headed towards Oregon, the same as us. And we're going to meet up in about a month. From the emails they're sending, they're just enjoying life, and we really look forward to seeing them in June or July. And then the next row down is retirement videos about. This is one everybody needs to watch. Do you have an exit strategy? If you're going to try this RV lifestyle, you need to make sure you have, especially if you're our age, you have a plan of what you're going to do after you can't RV anymore. And it may be as simple as parking your RV in an RV campground, or could be any number of things. But it gives you some good ideas of things you need to think about. Social Security, kind of understand the benefits. I waited until I was 70 to file for my Social Security, and that increased at 30-something%. It has really made a difference, and it just kind of points out some numbers to give you an idea to find your best benefit strategy for you. Cost to live full time. Traveling and Medicare supplement programs, that's over here. And finding doctors on the road. ZocDoc, we use that quite a bit. It's kind of an important subject. This row here is, we broke our RV. We went to Lazy Days RV sales and service, and it cost us $10,000. We got about $2,500 worth of work done, or maybe $3,500, but it was a total failure. They even sent some mobile RV technicians 50 or 100 miles away to try to come and make it right, but they're too big to take care of us individual RV owners. I think that's a must watch for anybody that's thinking about getting, especially if you're going to get a big Class A. We camp in Thousand Trails campgrounds almost exclusively. So this next row tells a little bit about Thousand Trails, a little bit about 30 and 50 amp electricity, and then how to make your own Google Maps with all the Thousand Trails campgrounds at your fingertips. So we tried to make useful videos that help you on the subject of retirement and the RV lifestyle. I hope that helps you. If you've got any questions that we can help you with, be sure and put them in the comments. I'll put my email address up here. We send out a number of spreadsheets. Our expense report we'll send out. The data file to import your Google Maps we send out. Or just if you got questions or comments, don't hesitate to email me. Leave them in the comments below. And I think that takes care of everything. Coming up, if you want to see how we do those blue screen shots with people walking in and out of the thing, right after the video here, we've got a little snippet of my brother. It's my brother and Steve and my sister-in-law, Diane. that did the 2 cameo appearances in this video, and we're just having fun making those. So anyway, we talked them into helping us shoot some little cameo appearances, and you'll be seeing them in our future videos here and there. And I really hope you find some useful information in some of our videos, and that's what we make them for. Until we see you again, keep the wheels rolling, stay safe. We'll see you at the next exit. Bye-bye, folks.
But I like that one.
Yeah. That's really not what he meant.
And put your sunglasses on and do some of those.
Okay, that's a wrap.
Hey, Bob, he's a natural.
Do that. Would you claim him as your brother? Something like that.
I'm all this. I can do this easy. Just watch. And it breaks. And he goes like, well, I'll be back.
He's the brother nobody wants to
Yeah,
have.
I think we put it on backwards. I said, probably.
Maybe he wanted to help you learn better. He figured you'd learn and remember it better. Maybe he's a real good guy.
No, not this.
Us girls gotta stick together.
I think I'm going to talk to this side of the
That guy hasn't helped us with anything yet.
Okay, that's a wrap.
Oh, the battery's dead. Sorry. So to make a green screen shot, the first thing you have to do is get some green or blue will work, but get some green cloth, and you should light it up. That's where I don't do too good a job. But what you get some green cloth and then stand your person in front of it, zoom in so all you see is just the green screen part of your shot. And then the rest of it goes away. You have to have a video editing software to do this, but it's fairly inexpensive. You get it zoomed in and centered up. And now all you've got is the person with the green screen. Then you go and get what's called your chroma key. I don't even know exactly what that means, but it lets you select the color that you want to make invisible. So your video editing software, you click on the chroma key, you take the eyedropper and click it on the color you want out, and you can see it took out most of the green. And you got a couple of controls, and you just got to look for your best picture. Take out too much and it starts taking out part of the person, and you take out some of the contrast. So you can add 3 chroma keys on my video. You can take out 3 different chroma keys, 3 different colors on my video editing software, and you get it until you're happy. And then you can resize, locate it so that you're walking in off the screen, and you can make it bigger or smaller. And so you just got to position it how you want it. And that's pretty much it. It's really pretty simple. The video editing software does all the work. And then you got to have a background shot behind it so that what the color you take out, then it's going to let the background shot behind it.
Okay, that's a wrap. Okay, that's a wrap.
Hope that helps. Good luck, folks. Hope you enjoy the green screens.